guys, Lauren here, Country Life Canine Training. I want to show you the Mini Educator, which is the model e-collar most of our dogs are going to go home and graduate with. So before we open it, on the back of the box here is the website, ecollar.com. We recommend you going to the website and registering your system. It has a 2-year manufacturer warranty. Inside the box, I have my collar, my remote, my charger. You'll notice it's a dual end charger, so you can charge both the remote and the collar at the same time. There is a lanyard that you can clip to your remote. We recommend having it on your body whenever your dog's out of their crate and you're with them. We've got some extra contact points. Chances are we've changed your dog's contact points to something specialized to their particular coat length and type, but there are some extras here. And there is a little baggie with a tool to tighten your contact points or switch them out if you needed to. Underneath the tray here is the manual, goes over all the specifics. All right, so back to the charger. We recommend you charging both the collar and the remote every night like you would a cell phone. So at the end of the day, when you go to put your dog in their crate, you're gonna ask them to go inside, you're gonna reach in, you're gonna take the collar off. When you then go plug it into the charger, it's going to automatically power it off. So I'll show you how you plug them in. There's a little rubberized charging port on the back of each. So then the next morning when you're ready to get your dog out of their crate, start your day, you're gonna go over, unplug everything. Make sure you shut these charging ports on the underside of each to keep hair, debris, moisture out. Then you're going to need to power your system on. So in order to do that, we do each one separately. So on the back of the remote here, there's this on-off slash light, this big L button. I'm pressing and holding for a few seconds until I see my screen light up blue and numbers appear. To turn my collar on, there is a red dot on each, the remote and the collar. I'm going to touch those together. It's a magnetic power. The only difference would be if you have the Boss unit, which is the bigger e-collar for bigger dogs, rather than there being the red power buttons, there's actually a power button on the underneath of your collar for that portion. The big on-off light button is the same on all the remotes. So when everything's powered on, you'll notice there's green indicator lights flashing green, letting you know it's on and it's above 50% charge. When it flashes red, it's letting you know that it's below 25%. We recommend popping it on the charger every night. It's not gonna hurt it to charge whenever it's not in use, but really your battery life is good for about 2 to 3 days. And it only takes about 2 to 3 hours to gain a full charge if you need to throw it on quickly. Now the whole system is waterproof. Your dog can wear it swimming, out in the rain, out in the snow. It's not gonna hurt the system or your dog, but there are a few things you need to do to make sure everything stays good. You need to make sure that your charging ports are closed. We talked about that, especially if your dog's getting wet. It's a good idea to wash the underside of the box, the contact points that are touching your dog, with Dawn dish soap maybe once a week. Keep everything nice and clean. And if your dog is getting wet or dirty with the collar on, you want to make sure you take it off, dry your dog's neck, clean it off, and dry off the unit before putting it back on. That's going to help prevent hot spots from moisture buildup sitting underneath of the collar. Now, we recommend your dog wearing their collar whenever you're awake and you're with them. So at nighttime, when your dog's in their crate and you're asleep, no need to have it on. When your dog's in their crate throughout the day, you're away at work, you're busy, they're going to be in there for a while, you also can take it off then as well. We look at it as literally a translation device. Anytime you need to be talking to your dog and giving them instruction, you want to make sure that's when the collar's on, so you have a way to hold them accountable for listening to you. So we don't look at this as a system that we want to wean off of long term. We are going to be putting our dogs' e-collars on every day for their whole life. However, the goal is that over time and with consistency, your dog's going to be listening to your verbals more often than not. But the e-collar represents accountability. Just like how you probably drive better when you see police in the rear view, your dog's gonna know when that e-collar's on and that they have to listen to you. So, as far as functions, the same button that I use to turn my remote on, that big L button, if I just click it briefly, it's gonna turn on a flashlight. So one click is this flashing light, a second click is a steady light. A third click powers that light off. That's really handy for nighttime potties, walking out along the road at night. As far as my remote, I've got 3 buttons that are the most important. So on this side, there are 2 S buttons, a black S and a red S. On this side is a T button. Up here is my dial. My dial is how I change my levels. So I'm gonna come a little bit closer to the camera and show you this real quick. Be able to see it? Cool. So at the very top of the screen, you'll see there is a 1D flashing. In the middle, you'll see there's a 0. To the right, you'll see there is a little C. That's how we want our display to look all of the time. The middle number is going to be the only thing changing. That's indicating what level I'm at. So this dial at the top is how I change those levels. It goes from 0 being the lowest up to 100, or it will actually say high being the highest. So I'm just gonna put it at 10 now just to show you guys. This black S here is gonna deliver whatever level's on the screen. So I'm clicking it. It's either you can either deliver a quick click or you can press and hold for up to 10 seconds. My red button is a boost button. It allows me to increase my levels by a preset determined number. We use it as an emergency button. If you're in a situation where you need a sudden increase without having to fumble with the dial, you can use this boost button and it's going to jump up your levels. Excuse me. We will preset that to a number specific to your dog, and we'll let you know a number that is at your go home lesson. The T button on the side by itself stands for tone. We pair it with our come command and our heel command. The biggest thing to remember about the tone is that it's not a warning for all of the commands. It specifically means come to the human. So we'll be using it again with come and with heel. We'll give you more details on that at your go home, and you can also reference our other video as far as the how-tos, Ecollar Mechanics. So to recap, my black S delivers whatever level is on the screen. I can click quickly. I can also press and hold. My red button will do the same, but at an increased level. My tone button on the side by itself will deliver a beep to the e-collar for 1.5 seconds. If I continue holding the button down, it will then stim at whatever level I'm set at. I can also press it quickly like this if I want it to only tone. Tone, now it's stimming. Now the cool thing about being in continuous mode, which is indicated by the little C to the right of your level, is that any of my buttons, my working, my boost, or my tone, once it is stimming, I have the ability to dial up while I'm delivering stim. So if I'm holding the button, I find that this level is not high enough, I can dial up while I'm holding the button down until I reach a level that's appropriate for my dog in that situation. Same goes for the boost button. Same goes for the tone once it kicks over to stim. So it's toning, now it's stimming. That's not enough, I can dial up. We like that for emergency situations, such as your dog grabbing something off the ground they shouldn't have, a chicken bone out in public. Rather than guessing, is this level enough? Is boost enough? I can press the button and hold until my dog spits the item out. It's also nice if your dog were to take off chasing after a deer or a rabbit, something like that. Rather than guessing, I'm gonna press and hold and spin up until I see my dog stop. So really, really handy feature of continuous. We recommend holding the remote in your right hand with the screen facing you. So you'll notice when it's sitting in my hand, the antenna is pretty close up in between my thumb and pointer finger, allowing my thumb and pointer finger easy access to rotate the dial and use my stim buttons. When we're needing to use the tone button, we tend to pull our thumb back to use that and then go back to this position. So when you're working with your dog, you're walking in heel, your remote fits very comfortably in your hand this way, and the more practice you give to this, the quicker you're going to become with knowing what buttons do what and how big of a pinch you need to change your levels. So practice makes perfect. It can seem daunting in the beginning, but I promise with time and application, you're going to get really quick at this, and your dog is then in turn going to become much more obedient, much quicker.